Yeah, I said I live streamed 3 minutes ago. It was here. I don't know what happened. Or I couldn't see it. That would be easier.
I'm back. Did you say you added me into one, or you want me to put your email?
Yeah, I put my email there, but I think I might have fixed the. Yeah, the YouTube wasn't broken. It was just I don't know something wrong with me.
Oh, you got that going?
Yeah, it's working. So if you just go to my channel, it should say it's live. Yeah, I found it's live on my screen now. So that's good. See if I can find the link.
Sending for the YouTube.
Oh, that's why, because it's set to private. I think that's why I couldn't see it. Yep. So options here.
By the way, so that tool that you're using, it's called Crypto
There it is.
Trading View or something like that, or just Trading View in general.
Yeah, it's trading view.
TradingView.com.
Yep.
Let's use Coinology or Coinigy. I mean,
Ah, yeah. No, I used to use Coiny too, but
Sharpie.
I like trading view a bit more.
Better.
Eh, yes and no. I mean, I just used to it. Depends what you're used to. Like, I would say Coinigy is not Coinigy. Trading view is probably better for the long run, but it costs a decent amount of money. I sent you that YouTube link. That should work. I don't need to delete the last one where I was just fumbling around.
So now I'm going to turn. So we've got actually double audio. So
Yeah, so what
which
you want
one
to
do
do
I need to
is
turn on?
open the YouTube video so you can see the visual from there, and then mute the YouTube video because it will be slightly delayed. Don't want our voices to be delayed, but having the screen a little bit delayed is fine.
It's open. I've got video on, and
And muted. Yeah,
on for
cool.
the Discord.
Perfect. Cool. All right, let's take a look at something. One of these bags here. Let's go. Let's start with R because I know R pretty easy. I probably even have it charted already. So let me just add in here. Pull this over. Paid. Paid this. That was R.
That's the per unit price, right?
Yep. Per unit price. Using some spreadsheet. I've got it done right.
Can you give me access to this spreadsheet?
Yep, it's in the link that I
Killer one would.
same link that I just gave before. I actually add another. Sure, okay, better. There we go. That was someone else's one that looked pretty, but it's not the same. I'll pull over the.
So you put that on like sheet 2.
Yep. Other one. Yeah, I like this one better. Okay, so sheet two. See that one. Let's take.
You want to
Our,
know what one of the cards that I got was? Is
what is that?
from my cousin who is rooting for a different football team than I do for college. This is a consolation card. Isn't that sweet of her?
Yeah.
Rub salt in the wound. Thank you very much. Before, I've never done that to her, but I will from now on.
All right. Let's see. So we got position size. Hopefully this okay. Okay.
downside of just porting sheets over like that, right?
Yeah, sometimes it breaks the
Yeah.
contents of it when I'm trying to play with it, but it should work. I mean, is your position size is your initial price, and usually we go lighter than that. You'll see from the other one, the other video. Usually we go like super small initial position. That so that's breaking it, hopefully. And then we've got the yeah, we can throw that in the back there. It doesn't break anything. Still good.
There we go. And so we're just looking at the different buy levels, potential buy.
Yeah, let's look at this one for now. I'll need to fix the Excel so that this position size will also be included, but it's not getting included right now. We did play around with that some more. We'll look at ARC, and what did we start at? Started at 59. On ARC, BTC, on Bittrex.
When I used to do the stock market, my broker, he had never done that double down strategy. I was the one that introduced him to
Yeah, it's a
stuff
good.
intuitively, and he thought I was nuts. It's like I'd buy in at a price and then it'd go down. I said, okay, I want you to get me twice as many at current price. He goes,
Yeah,
as your broker, I advise you against it. I said, as your client, you're going to do it.
yeah.
So, and then when it'd go back up and it'd go over and above the original position, it blew him away. I'm sure he taught some of his other clients to do how to do. Was impressed.
It's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous, like how good it is. Like it's just all. It's like most hedge funds will do this. It's just called dollar down averaging. But to be able to plan out your dollar down averaging before you even take your initial position, it's just yeah. It's I don't know.
Like
It's like risk management to the extreme. Uh, yeah,
this is a form of Fibonacci retracement.
yeah, yeah.
This
Pretty
this
much.
just tells your prices that you're going to make money at it if you do this level. Whereas Fibonacci doesn't tell you that so much as it tells you you should get in at what.
Well, check that out. My the Fibonacci level that I drew there before, like talking to you, is
Oh
right on where
yeah,
you bought.
it's right on it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
And that's just from before. Like that's when I drew it back here when this was before this part came in. But yeah, I mean it's right on there, and it's stuck there, and it's hit there a few times. So it's like, that's you can backtest like so quickly. Like you don't have to run some crazy backtesting program or algorithm or something. You can just see it. Like it happens every time. So let's take a look at what other lines do we have here? So that's where we started in yellow. So let's go with like a blue. Yeah, let's go with a blue. And just see, yeah,
We're
probably.
looking for the ceilings and the floors, or what?
No, just like wherever it really pops out to you, to be honest. Like, because once you break resistance, it becomes support. So a ceiling becomes a floor at the same, in the same instant kind of thing. So you got like, feel like here you got ceiling, breakthrough, come back down, ceiling, 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 then it becomes a floor. Because then later on you find out it's a floor further down the line, like further in time. So you're kind of looking for both. It really just pops out to you. Like you'll see one line, and then you'll draw it in there, and then you'll look back and be like, oh yeah, that hit that same line like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And another way to help you with that, like if you're not, um, while you're trying to get comfortable with that, is just your Fibonacci levels. Oh, maybe put them. Those are like a bright pink or something. Your Fibonacci levels even better.
Fibonacci's, your Fibonacci's are a little bit different than mine.
Oh yeah.
Mine set for, I think it's a 68% or whatever. Uh, there's a couple of them that I can watch it. I'd have to kind of show you at some point.
Yeah, that'd be good. All right, let's have a quick look at this. Where did we start? We started at yellow. We threw in some lines here and there. Did a fib retracement from this massive breakout. So we just started way back in the 8th to the 14th to the 8th. And then yeah, just threw that Fibonacci level all the way up there. And it turns out you bought right on this line, your 618 retracement line. So it was a really good buy. But in the moment, it was a really good buy. But yeah, if you planned out these ones, you would have seen all the way down here. So let's zoom a bit. So we bought here, and then let's put a price range in. So then our next blue line would be 16% down. Our next blue line would be 13%. Our next blue line would be 18.
Energy doesn't have that automatic calculated.
Yeah. Down for the further, like the deeper you get, the higher multiplier you want to go. So if you're only going like down 10% or something, you probably only want to go maybe a 2x multiplier or a 3x multiplier. But then if you're looking at like a 40% drop, like on a smaller cap coin, maybe something like Burst or Doge, like a smaller Satoshi. Yeah, like a smaller Satoshi and a smaller price coin, the percentages get a lot bigger a lot faster, so you can multiply a lot faster. But I mean, ARC's pretty expensive in the grand scheme of things, so it's not going down much. So we got our first line, so we got 16%, 13, 18, 38. So let's just go back to the Excel. Let me go 16%, 13%, 18, 38. 38.
And that just tells me what my buy price should be in at each level.
Yeah, comment that out. So this position size should work, and it should be telling you here how much it's going to cost you at that point in time. I'm not 100% sure why, but I will fix this Excel and get it back to you so you can plan it out properly. But for now, you can see, so you can see your buy prices for each one, and this should, I don't know why, because it's not like the position isn't pulling from this position size for some strange reason. This
Okay, gotcha.
is supposed to have a formula like that would that would change this, but it's not. Anyway, so yeah, it's just going to tell you the prices all the way down, and you'd plan out. So it's kind of need it. Let me try on a different Excel without pulling yours out. Let's try this. Because you kind of need that. See how much you're going to spend so you can plan it.
Do you formula? Do you calculate the fees into that scenario? In other words, so what I need to test in terms of getting money out of the trade, but in terms of the fee I paid for the trade, so take that into account.
Your fee, yeah, you don't take the fees into account because you're working off percentages, so your fees are also a percentage. And with this method as well, that you're going to be taking you're going to be having market maker fees instead of market taker fees, because you're already planning where you're going to buy beforehand, so you can put your buy order in, so you take the least amount of fees possible. by being a market maker. So you would have your buy order in the order book already, which makes you a market maker instead of buying at the ask price, which would you would be a market taker. So you take the least amount of fees possible by planning out your whole trade first. I mean, you could have this method planned out, and you could say, okay, I'm gonna buy today. I'm gonna buy here at 59,500 or whatever it was, 59 something, and then if it drops another 16%, I'm going to buy again. So you can then say like, okay, I'll put in a buy order for X amount of for 2x more than what I bought here. You can buy that at 49. So you'll already have your order there when it comes in. So you'll be taking the least amount of fees possible, and you're looking at percentage change. So your percentage change is going to include will give you your fees because you're going to take the position sizing and the coin amount from that initially. But
Okay.
yeah, having your fees reduced is
Cool.
the best part. Really don't know
Makes
why this
sense.
isn't working. This is supposed to. Hmm.
Well, we can revisit this. Get that, uh, and then it'll probably take us like a.
I think I've got it. I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. It was just the thing that was messed up. Okay. Yeah. I knew there was. I haven't done this in a couple of weeks. Alright. Let me just throw this up here. Okay. The labels were like messed up. This is your cost in Bitcoin. So you have your initial position. We got 16, 13, 18, 38. 16. Now, don't be too shocked by these numbers, but let's just say it's pretty deep to dig out using this method from the current position you're in. So you might skip some of these levels, like in order to do that, like you could say, also the multipliers are a bit different too. So you could skip, maybe instead of doing 16 and 13%, you could do a 30% drop and then buy 4x at the 30% drop, which will reduce your costs. But with the current costs, arc. So if your worst case scenario, so this is where planning comes and really important. Your worst case scenario right now, your where is it? Your bottom line there at 21, um, down at 21, your 40% drop. That, and if you started with an initial position size of 0.25, that's gonna cost you 100 Bitcoin to dig yourself out of.
All right.
at that point down there. So if you're using those kind of multiplier stuff, so that's why like I'll throw this Excel. I'll give you this link so you can play around with the sheets. But that's why we start with a really small position size. So it's really like massive amounts of risk management because you're starting with a really small position size. So if it goes up, then you're not going to make very much. But if it goes down, then you're covered, right? You're not going to lose money either. If it goes up from your initial buy size, then it goes up and you make a little bit of profit. Like, yay, at least you make money. But the whole point in this plan is just not to lose money. And the person whose strategy this is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's was asked like many times, how do you make so much money? How are you so rich? How do you do it? And he just says, very simple. I just don't lose money. That's all he does. That's what he lives by is I do not lose money. So this is how you plan to not lose money by being less greedy in the initial position, like knowing, I wouldn't say less greedy, but like just knowing that you can be wrong at a certain point in time. You might have been like, oh yeah, like that was a great buy at that point in time. More TA indicators would have told you this was a great buy. It's on the 016 0618 retracement line. that should be a perfect buy for you. But if we went back historically and looked at, okay, where were we before that? What was our worst case before that? And then we can see, oh well, actually we could probably come down to 21 because this is crypto, you know. It doesn't
I
always
know. And
don't obey the
4 or 5 months ago, that would have worked. And right
Yeah.
now in the crypto market, it's like it's so crazy. It's predictable. Like when I played the stock market,
Yep.
that all of that stuff made would have made a lot of sense
Yep.
to do. But cryptocurrency, no way.
Yeah, crypto is just different, and that's why like we don't margin. You know, one of I wouldn't. It's not rule number one, but it's one of the many rules. Do not margin, and I had to lose a lot of money to learn that. Like,
Oh yeah, and it bites you in a hurry.
yeah,
That's like playing the commodities market. There's no bottom side.
yeah, you do not need to margin. Like, okay, forex, those kind of FX trading, sure, you can margin. You need to margin because you're moving a small percent. But why? Like, if you're looking at coins that have, let's just look at. Let me pull this over. So you bought here, and we can go down to here. So when you're buying a coin and you plan out your downside, and that downside is 62%, and then you what, let's say a conservative 10x margin, you've just 10x your losses. Like in essence. So there's crypto moves enough that you don't need to margin. There's no reason to margin. It's a really bad thing to do here. You'll lose. Like you can win. Like you can win for 6 months. You can win for a year, but eventually it'll bite you and you'll lose everything. There's just no point.
I
There's no point
concur.
at all. Yeah, with this looks great. I mean, looking at ARC, like it bounces between those levels so many times. It sits on there. So we bought at 59. So if we bought again at 49, then we would have been profitable at. So we go back to the spreadsheet, find out 49. So we were profitable at 52 on 1 Bitcoin worth. So if you're actively trading at in this moment, so 50, excuse me, 52. Put in. Let's pick what color. Light blue. Yeah, light blue is nice. So 52, right? So we bought up here at 59. We then did we 4x or 2x? For this one, we 4x. Okay, like just on this plan. So we 4x down here at 49 when it dropped below our blue line, right? And we're just down here, and then it bounced straight back up to the 52s. But we were profitable at this light blue line. We've been profitable so many times from that initial buy-in position. Been profitable there, been profitable there, you know, and then we come back down to here, and then we'd be profitable there, be profitable there, you know, instead of waiting to get back to the yellow line, right? But it's about that multiplier. You can't just 2x like every time. You have to like plan it out a bit more. It's really all comes down to planning every single trade before you take it. And now that you've taken the trades already, we can't go back in time. So we need to be nice, right? I mean, or like if we could see the future or something, how rich would we be?
Way, it's like now that you've seen the trade, you
Yeah,
can kind of
yeah,
predict what the past has done. So
exactly. And this works most of the time. You'll see like this kind of style, this kind of pattern. You'll see it come up. You'll see it come back down again. You know, like I was saying in the other video, the three things we can rely on with 100% certainty is markets go up, markets go down, and they go sideways. That's the only three things we can rely on. So that's the only three variables that we should use when creating a plan. Which one? The time? Time moves forward.
it's delisted.
Hey, gets delisted. Yeah, but
Gets
it never.
delisted.
Yeah, it can get delisted, but the thing with getting delisted is a coin can never go below 1 Satoshi. Well, not 1 Satoshi, but like it can't go to zero because it will always exist because that's how blockchains work. As long as one node exists, or one, yeah, as long as one node exists, the coin can never die. So what can happen is a coin can get delisted, and then maybe 4 or 5 years down the line, a developer says, "Oh, I like that coin. I'm gonna go bring it back." and they bring it back and they get it listed on whatever, and you just happen to be holding your bags from it. Coins can never die. They can go to worthless, almost worthless, as close to worthless as you can possibly get. But coin can never die. But
Sometimes that's a good buy opportunity.
it could be, yeah. I mean, like BitShare, not BitShares, BitShares, BTS. I mean, it's
That's the one that I
is
actually
that what you're
I
referring
that's
to?
the first one I ever lost. Yeah, the first one I lost money on because I felt I compelled to get out of it
Yeah,
before they delisted it off of Bittrex on the third.
yeah. Yeah, I mean
Um,
it's not a bad decision either. Like we can't, we don't have a crystal ball. Who knows? I mean, we can sit here and speculate and say, well, maybe they're an exchange, so maybe they're getting delisted because Bittrex sees it as competition, though unlikely. It's possible. At the same time, the same person that made BitShares also made Steam, which is also going down the pan. I hold like a lot of it, and it's going down the pan just because he he spread himself too thin. He's now doing EOS, the same guy. So he can't
EOS
develop all
is
these.
a
Sorry.
new coin that you can actually it's tied kind of like to Steam, right? Where you it's buying content.
I'm not actually sure of the use case of it. Of no, EOS
I'm
is like its
assuming
own.
you're not.
EOS is its own platform. I'll need to be back in 5 minutes. I've actually got my new chair just arrived. I'll need to go get it. Be back 2 minutes. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I ordered an office chair and it didn't show up yesterday. Well, I missed it yesterday, so I have to go get it today. It just turned up. Oh, yeah, cool. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, look at. I'm sure you've had a look at this. You've been staring at the screen the whole time. Yeah, it's like it amazes me kind of every time that I go back and look at this or I go look at another coin, just how much it follows and how much money I would have made using this plan and like just planning out each one. You don't even have to look at what happened. Like you can go draw these lines on a chart and then come back to it 3 months later, and almost every one I've seen, it's either dropped below your bottom, like below your baseline, like I think it was not gigabyte, M byte, G byte, yeah, G byte. It was G byte that's dropped below its all-time low. But then, like, you can do fundamentals on the coin, right? G byte is an inflationary coin. They're releasing more and more of it every full moon. It gets released out to those that are holding Bitcoin. It's an airdrop, so you can kind of tell that what coins are going to go further down than that. But looking at ARK, it's right on that support level right now. You can see where it dropped below that support level down there at 38, came back up to 56. Like, you could swing trade, just day trade in between those two lines, or like, let's look at the next one. Is 45, no, 43, then 45. Let's even look at this bottom one, 20, like the worst case scenario. So 21 back up to 24. I'm skipping a few because I think you get this. So let's look at 21 to 24. Right. Let's see. Like, this is the beauty of it. And this is why we need to start with a smaller position sizing too. Like, you've started with a 0.25. So at that point, it's with these numbers, these arbitrary numbers, it is going to cost us 100 Bitcoin down here, right? But if we did get to here and we bought all the way down, we bought at these levels, we bought at 16% down, 13% down, 18% down, 38% down at 4438 multiplier. Like, just think about how much money you'd make from here, and like your break even is so close because their multiplier is higher. You choose a higher and higher multiplier, but to counterbalance that, use a really small position size. So like 0.001 starting position size. Then you can 4x, 8x, 16x up that and be comfortable. You can just allow, say like, okay, well, I only want to spend a total of 1 Bitcoin on ARK, and then a total of 1 Bitcoin on this other coin. So maybe you have 10 Bitcoin portfolio, you spread it across 10 coins, but then it's like a fractional reserve because you've allowed that 1 Bitcoin for it, but chances are it's not going to drop this far this fast. You're going to make money from it in between, from your other buy and resistance levels.
Right.
But like, look at how low that you can come down there. You come all the way down to 21, and it only has to go up to 23 to break even. Like, how close your red and green lines are, just by buying down your red and turquoise, or your blue and turquoise up here, because you bought at yellow. That's where you actually bought, and then we did a 16% down with a 4x multiplier, which is a lot higher than what I would usually do for 16%, maybe 2 or 3 times multiplier. But if you're trying to aggressively dig yourself out or aggressively make money, if you bought here and then all of a sudden it falls off the face of the earth, you bought down here again at 18%, 16% down. It only needs to bounce like the smallest amount, which it did. And if you bought again, like down at this at 43, which is 13% down, that's our other. They just touched it, so you can see like we got our support and resistance levels bang on, because that just wicked into that level. I mean, probably not even. Like, if it came down here, you probably would have adjusted your buy up a little bit to get in there. And then look what happened, like straight after all this. Yeah, it's a wick, but if you had a buy order in, around there, you might have got it. You might have got lucky. Or if you didn't, it's still fine if you didn't, because we wouldn't stay down here very long. And this was our break even if we didn't buy from here. Where is our break even if we did buy there? Is at 45. So that's at 45. 45.
Right. But what's this strategy called? Is there a specific name for this?
There
When
are
we're studying up.
there are versions of it, and one of the versions is called. Let me remember that. It's Martingale. I think it's called Martingale. Martingale or Martingale. It's a roulette strategy, basically, and what
Oh,
kind of, or like any sort, it's kind of any sort of gambling strategy. It kind of it works, you know, like even put it simpler, right? Say a coin flip. All right, so you got 50-50 chance on the balance of probabilities that you're going to win the coin flip eventually. So you go for, so say you allow $100, no, not $100, say $1,000, and the first bet you bet $1 for the coin flip, you lose. So the next bet you bet $2, you lose. Next bet $4, you lose. Next bet $8, you lose. Next bet $16, you win. You've now broke even though you've lost
right.
4 times before.
Got it.
Like
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
simplified way. But you need to start with a small enough initial position to be able to keep doing that all the way down. So that's where you really need to plan. It's not going to work if you don't plan. If you're just like, oh yeah, I mean, I bought it 59 and then maybe I'll buy, oh yeah, it's 52 now, maybe I'll buy another point 0.2 or another point 0.3 or something. If it comes down again, you're like, and then you're going to feel the pain. It's going to hurt if you put like too high of a initial position and you haven't like planned out the whole, you got to plan out the whole trade really. Like you have to
Hmm.
have a written visual plan for, and through Excel, like a calculated plan for whatever you're going to do at whatever level. So that's why I like to start with 0.01, 0.001, and then just X up from there, whatever that position might be. And especially during this market, chances are it's going to go down. Like unless you're buying the absolute bottom, which is, I know it's great. Like I mean,
There's a lot of bottoms that hit lately. You
yeah,
know, I've seen 90-day, even 360-day bottoms that have
yep,
been hit in the last couple of weeks.
yep. There's been a lot because the space is changing. The space is constantly changing and adapting, and new technologies are coming out, and you know, there's so much happening. Like this is the base strategy to start off with. Plan your trade and trade your plan is like the base way to say it, and like something to stick in your head is to, if you're gonna, if you can't just throw money on the roulette table and expect to win. You have to have a full strategy and plan before you even enter the casino. Before you even step foot in that casino, you have to plan out everything that you're gonna do and how you're gonna win. You have to plan to be profitable. Otherwise, how are you gonna be profitable? Otherwise, it's just luck, really. If you're not planning it and you don't have a strategy to be profitable, you're lucking it.
Which worked about 9 months.
Yeah, right. It works in a bull market when everything's going up. Can't wait till the next
Right
one.
now, it's yeah, it goes bull and it goes bear, it goes bull and bear too fast to
Yep.
be able to adjust.
Yep. Yep. But this way,
You know,
you
I've
plan
been
your whole
teaching my
downside then.
group. I've been teaching my group about it's like, notice how when Bitcoin goes up, all the other cryptocurrencies go down almost to a
Yeah.
every single one. I said, it's not that
Right.
that the other cryptos have actually gone down. They really stay in the same place a lot of
Yeah.
times,
Just the dollar
but it just
value
in
has changed.
relationship to Bitcoin that they look like they're going down.
Yeah. But
And I
those
said,
times give us massive amounts of opportunity. Like you saw what happened the day, not even the day after, a few hours after Bitcoin Gold got confirmed, the whole market turned green. Everything was up. Well, sorry, there was one coin that was negative on the whole of Bittrex, and the rest were up anywhere from 10 to 70%. Imagine you had been buying down all the way down for a few days before, even just a few days before. You've been buying
Right.
all those alts, buying down, buying down, buying down, and then on that day, bangs, 20%, 30%, 70% profit on everything.
If only we had a from a little crystal ball
Yeah.
to be able to anticipate when and where.
Yeah. I mean, you can to an extent a little bit. Like when you see Bitcoin going up, you know alts are going to come down. So you've already got your support and resistance lines in there. So then you can see where they're coming down, how fast they're coming down. Maybe you can adjust. Like this one, most recently, ARK came down really, really fast and bounced off of that line. Right, actually bounced off a break even line, but it bounced off of our support lines, dipped under a few of them, but it always bounced. Like what goes up must come down, and what comes down must bounce every time. But
Right.
what we don't
It's a
know is how
dead
much.
cat bounce, we call it, right?
But yeah, well,
Yeah.
a dead cat bounce is like a technical term for if the bounce is below is less than 30% of the initial drop, then it's dead cat because apparently dead cats don't bounce very high.
Depends on how high you're dropping them from, right?
Well, apparently not. Like 30%, right? So it's only supposed to, if you say you drop it from 100 feet, it's still only going to bounce less than 30% of that 100 foot. Apparently. I don't know. Maybe someone tested that. I hope not, though. And that's why it's called a dead cat bounce.
It's okay to bounce a dead one. If you're bouncing a live,
Yeah. Yeah.
we
Still a
got
bit
ethical
morbid. Still a
issues.
bit morbid. But anyway, wouldn't want to clean that up.
That's true.
But yeah, some of the names I don't understand why they call things. Like I was talking to someone today about an Adam and Eve retrace. I'm like, come on, who comes up with these names? A dead
Well,
cat
they look for
bounce.
things that kind of fit within their realm of experience to make it
Yeah, make it stick
it's
for
their
them,
version
right?
of it.
Yeah,
That's
it makes it stick for them, and then everyone else picks it up. I suppose. Yeah, it just sounds really funny to us when we're looking at these kind of things.
Cool. This has been very helpful. So you've got a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'll send you that one, and actually I'll fix yours. All I did was I missed because I had it squished down a bit because I don't use this side. This thing on the right hand side, this is scheduling. So like, um, that's a different part of it. So you would say that comes into planning like your volatility. So you can see that this dropped really fast. So you would schedule that. You would say, okay, I'm only going to buy a position, or I'm only going to buy my position every 4 hours, or every day, or at a day at this. I'm only going to schedule one buy a day, so you don't buy too many drops. Like if it drops really fast, like then you're scheduling your buys over a time period as well as a drop size, and that I don't really use that side much because I use I use automation software to do this. Like I plan it out everything and I plug it into the automation software, and I just tell it, depending on the coin, usually I just tell it an hour. If it drops that far, I'll just I'll keep buying it down because my lowest position is really small. But if you're doing this manually, you probably want to schedule out maybe like once a day or something, whatever. And then you can also
Automation
like
tool
actively look at the coin as well. Hmm?
to use.
It's coming soon. TBA.
Okay.
Coming.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Still in development. It's in testing at the moment, and we're not going to release anything until it's perfect. So yeah, still in testing
Nice.
phase. Yeah, I'm excited for that to come out. Really excited, and that's why I'm really so eager to teach people this method and show people and like people like yourself who have other communities, so you can like show them and be like, hey, look at this. What do you guys think about this? Do you agree with it? And then they also go and say, hey, have a look at this. I got taught this. Look at that. And then they come back to me and be like, hey, can I automate this? Like, yes, you can. Here you go.
Yeah. Nice. That's way cool.
Yeah. But you don't need the automation, right? That's the beautiful part. When you plan it out, you can do this manually. You can test it out yourself and make sure it works for
It
you.
just takes a lot longer.
Yeah, and it takes, but it's good in a way as well because then you can see it and really learn it for yourself and see like what's happening and see that it works, and then you're like, and then from that point, all the profits that you've made, can get you automation, then you just make more profits, right?
That's true. That's absolutely true.
And then you just
But
take
you're right.
yourself
I
out
mean,
of
you
the
have to go
equation.
through the to learn it, to really learn it first, and
Yeah.
then amplifies it when you. I mean, it's just like, you know, full tool, but if you don't know what it's doing and why it's doing it, is it really helping you?
Yeah. That's why it's really good. It's really good to go through this and just planning out these ones. And even like if you just even if you don't trade, excuse me, even if you don't trade this way, but you just like pick a coin, pick a few coins, and put the charts up, wait a few weeks, few months, however long you deem fit, and just see what happened and be like, oh wow, actually if I had followed that plan, if I'd followed those lines, I would have made a lot of money.
Hmm.
Like especially looking at this one, like see how it came all the way down, wicked right there, and that's the part of automation, you can catch wicks, right? So if you had your line high enough, you'd have caught that wick and had that massive upside, that massive pump that came straight after it, all the way back up to your yellow line. So you would have bought at the yellow line, you would bought again down at the, my lines are all messed up now. But yeah. No, I think it's about there. Yeah. So you bought the yellow line, you would have bought down, that's actually way more than 18%. But yeah, you would have bought about 30% down. You'd probably bought a few times within here. And then if you'd caught that wick, you would have been laughing all the way to the bank, all the way back up to above the yellow line again, all the way up to 62. And you can just sell as much as you want. Like you can just sell. You'd maybe sell like 50% there, 50, and then maybe another 20% of that 50% there, and then maybe a bit more here, and then you could just sell as much as you want. You can either sell a percentage of it, or you can sell a position size. You can, you really can make the decision beforehand, or you can also change the decision. So you can make, maybe you're buying down bit shares, and then you see the news about delisting, so maybe you're like, all right, I'm going to cut my losses here, or maybe you're going to buy down more, or you know, you make decision at a time. But
Yeah,
as long as you're
that's
going with the
good.
initial
And you know,
plan.
this is like if I had paid attention to this when I, a lot of times my nighttime strategy before I go to bed
Yeah.
is to kind of do that anticipation of what I believe it's going to go down to.
Hmm.
And I'll go ahead and put a buy order, the automated buy order
Yeah.
at that point. Then then there's a number that I want it to go up to. I set my alerts on Coinigy to wake me up, get up and actually do a trade. It'll, if it buys.
Yeah.
So, I set the alert for the buy as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
it's actually nice. And then if there's one that I don't wake up for and it didn't reach down and get it, it's no big deal. I just cancel that order.
Yeah, that's really what you want to, or like I like to focus on, is not so much gaining money. Like gaining money is obviously like the goal, but if you focus on just not losing money, then gaining money is easy. If you don't lose money, gaining money is easy, which is, it's funny ways to say things, right? It's different to what we're traditionally taught. You're traditionally taught you got to spend money to make money. That's traditional teaching, or traditional thinking anyway. And then traditional thinking is buy at the bottom, sell at the top. Whereas with this, I don't care if I buy at the top because I'm scheduled all the way to the bottom. So I can buy at the top and be profitable at the bottom still. Because I
Yeah,
don't know where the
that's
top
true.
is. I have no idea where the top is. Like Burst is a prime example of that one. I didn't realize it until like I covered it in the other video. Burst. Like you had no idea. Like no one had any idea that 1,000 satoshis was the top of Burst. Like for all we knew, at that period of time, not much because it just moved so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, like we had no idea.
it's definitely at
Um,
its 90-day bottom for sure.
yeah, but the whole sector kind of is of it, you know, like the whole decentralized storage sector is quite low. Trading views not being a friend. Here we go. Yeah, yeah, that's okay. So like you're coming up, like you see a massive peak, you have no idea. Like you really have no idea in that period of time. Like FOMO kicks in. You're like, oh yeah, this is going to the moon. Maybe some really good news coming out. Like Neo was a really good example of that. Like you have no idea where it's gonna stop. You really, no one has any idea where it will stop. Where it stops, nobody knows. But like, one ant shares it
True.
was called at the time. So like, but you can see a bottom. You can plan for a bottom. Like Neo came all the way up here to 100 and what 14 0.14 satoshis. Like who knows, maybe it was
Oh,
going to point 1.
nice.
Like at that point in time you buy all the way up there. Maybe it was going to point 1. Maybe you're thinking Neo's gonna be better than Ethereum. It's gonna be $400 today, right? Like it's gonna go from $30 to 400 today. Like, and who knows, that kind of crap can happen in crypto. Like maybe all of a sudden Donald Trump tweets about something. He's like, all right guys, yeah, I've just randomly decided that America is now going to use Neo for their currency. Like,
Yeah.
over,
Yeah, that should
right?
happen.
Right? You have no idea. You literally have no idea. But what you can have an idea about is your downside. You can plan your downside, so you can plan your initial position sizing accordingly to what your downside potential is, which brings the saying of buy at the top, sell at the bottom, which is really weird, but it works when you plan it to work.
Can you plan it out? Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't
I
plan
like
it, you're
that.
gonna lose a lot. You're gonna lose everything. But you gotta plan. That's all.
Yeah. Now, so to what degree do you use the? I know you got the RSI up. To what degree do you use that in your planning?
Um, I like to use it to confirm prior pumps and prior peaks and dips because you can't really use it as a feature and as a lagging indicator. So like you can see if it was oversold at that point in time, did it dip? Sorry, if it was opposite way. If it was overbought at that time, did it dip after? If it was oversold there, did it pump up like price wise? I'm having a look, but RSI is more of a swing trading for me anyway. Like I could be wrong. I'm constantly learning, right? I mean, I'm not saying I know everything. I far from it. It's just a strategy that I've been shown and want to spread it with everyone else. So I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
the
I use it.
RSI,
I use it in conjunction. Use it in conjunction with the MACD
yeah,
and the Bollinger Bands. So if
yeah,
everything lines up, and I've got I'm overbought,
yep.
so at that
Yeah,
point I know it's
in the moment you
likely
can,
down.
but you can't really
Yeah,
plan into the future using it. You
it's
know what I mean?
true.
Like you can't like, you know, you can't tell. That's why I don't like speak about it in this kind of thing. But yeah, for definitely like in the moment when you're manual trading, you should use every single indicator at your disposable. I keep saying it, at your disposal at the time. Like every single thing that you can have to confirm what you think is going to happen, the better, right? The more things that you can have, the better. Like your Fibonacci lines up, your Bollinger Band lines up, your MACD lines up, your RSI lines up, your Williams lines up, everything lines up, it can still go down.
Right, exactly. Exactly. It may not go down as far,
Yeah,
because you've gone and you've done your due diligence. Like,
yeah.
I'll tell people on the
They just add to your profitability. They they add to your. It's like an arsenal of tools, right? You got a bunch of different tools you can use. This is your armor, right? The buying down strategy, the martingale planning is your armor. Your RSI, your MACD, your everything else is your weaponry. As a way we could think about it.
I know you guys talked about kind of teaching us that 3 months ago. I wish I'd taken you up on that offer 3 months ago.
uh, honestly, it probably would have been a completely different story 3 months ago. It wouldn't have been as good as this 3 months ago because that's 3 months of learning I've had, right? So we're all constantly learning. We're all constantly learning from each other and teaching each other things here and there, things that we wouldn't have thought about or seen, or something that's so basic that that a newer person can point out because they've got fresh pair of eyes, whereas we are sitting here staring at charts all day every day
But yeah,
and going cross-eyed. Where
I'm
someone's
only
like, "Hey, have you seen this?" Like, "Oh, actually, no, I haven't."
play around with this for a couple of weeks before I introduce it to my trading group because I don't want to
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Like, plan it all out.
give
Plan it.
fake information. I want to maybe prove it out for myself.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. So tell me more about yourself. Like, now that we've got this planning out, like, what are you up to in crypto? What are you up to in life?
Okay, well, it's like I got started in cryptocurrency about a year ago.
Nice. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I actually had an opportunity to buy into Bitcoin at its inception.
Wow. Old
And
timer, old schooler.
cryptography. You're right. He was majoring in cryptography in college, and he goes, "Hey, there's this new currency that's coming out called Bitcoin, and he sent me a copy of the white paper, and he was like, he knew I was involved in investing, so he thought that I'd be the perfect person to kind of like help be kind of like an hero.
Hmm.
And so, but I didn't buy in because I didn't understand it well enough. Even if with reading that,
Oh yeah.
I didn't understand the market forces and what they were going to do to kind of
Oh yeah. Impossible.
bring Bitcoin up. And yeah, so but I could have got it. I could have gotten 1 unit for 1/10 of a penny. That was when, and so I talked about. He said, well, what do you suppose you'd have to be able to invest in that? I said, well, I suppose I could set aside 5 grand. Well,
Wow. Yep.
assumed that I went ahead and bought in. And it was like last December, he called me up just out of the blue. It was after it just had Bitcoin had just had a slight rise.
Mhm.
And he goes, hey, I was just calling to see how your Bitcoin investment's doing. And I said, I didn't buy in. And he goes, I said, yeah, why? And he goes, okay, down. Okay, yeah, I've sit down. And he goes, your investment, if you'd have bought it with that $5,000 you talked about, you'd have owned $4 billion worth of Bitcoin. Shut up. Right.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. Now that's gonna get your attention. And that's what brought me
Yeah.
then into the cryptocurrency market, because then I'm going, okay, I gotta learn about this because this is right. This is
Yeah.
not monopoly money now.
Yeah, there's really no way to tell at that point in time either. Like hindsight can, even in trading and even like a little bit of hindsight, like 10 minutes before in this world can really destroy your mood and really like make you really emotional from this stuff. So like there's no
Yeah.
way anyone would have spent $5,000 on a coin that didn't do anything or really have anything at that point in time. Bitcoin was made by the people that were involved in it from that time. It was made what it is today by the people that drove it home and never stopped, and they seen what it was in that first time. The cryptographers, the cyberpunks, the anarchists.
Exactly. Right.
Those are the ones that
Exactly.
drove it to the point where it's at now, where we can now get involved. Like I mean, not not to the not to the extent of $4 billion, but for 6 or 7 years, I was saying to myself, I can't believe I missed Bitcoin, and I was just thinking of it as an investment. I'm just saying, I can't believe I missed Bitcoin. Probably like a few times a year. I can't believe I missed Bitcoin. Can't believe I missed Bitcoin.
Uh,
And
I
then
and I don't angst about that so much anymore, even though,
I
like
would be for a
when I went up
while. It's
to
understandable.
16, yeah, right, I know. By the time it went up to 6 grand per, then, it's like now I would have been a multi-billionaire, right?
Yeah,
So it's like I just can't think of that because I mean, I've had 3 opportunities in my life to be a millionaire by having it fall in my lap.
yeah.
And that would have been one. Another one was when I was working for a company that had they're doing options, and they got bought out by um, Parent, got bought out by Cisco,
Oh yeah.
and Cisco paid billions of dollars for Cerence technology. And had I was a consultant at the time, and I was a key consultant,
Hmm.
and I could have gotten in, but I talked to the CIO 2 days late, The deal had
Oh
already been
snap!
made, and I couldn't get. So everybody else had their new Lambos, they're driving around in, and me, I'm still driving my VW bus, you know.
Yeah,
So, anyways, that was my computer consulting days, and which gave me a good, you know, into the investing arena. Um, my big thing right now is that's all I do. I just do cryptocurrency.
cool.
Stopped for a while, and it's like, okay. I take the training knowledge, and I use that to teach people about cryptocurrencies. Oh, and you
Nice.
saw, I gave a presentation. Every once in a while, I just get a and decide, to do a presentation on a certain topic that I know people need to hear.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of similar to what I'm trying to do and trying to make happen. Like people ask me questions in the Discord, stuff like that, or like I'll have some a cool thing going on, or just charting myself. People want to watch and see that kind of thing, and just trying to make that available to people because it's so small. The crypto space is so small, and the information is still going through growing pains, and the conveying of that information as well. But there's so much for all of us to learn. Like going
Still on the
back
bleeding
to
edge.
exactly like going back to that 7 years ago, like no one would have known. The only people that would have known what this could be is like real cyberpunk cryptographers visionaries cryptographic visionaries at that point in time. And really with a lot of foresight, those people would have been able to see, like, now we can see it, like, well, I can see it very clearly, super clearly, for like the past year or so. I can see the full vision, and I can convey that vision to other people, and more people get it. But there's still the majority that don't get it. Like they just don't get it. Like I mean, I'll sit in Ubers, and they'll ask me, "Oh yeah, hey, what do you do?" Blah blah. I was like, "Well, have you heard about Bitcoin?" And they're like, "I've heard about it, but I have no idea what it is. Can you help me?" I'm like, "Yep, sure, no problem. What do you know about it?" And I'll fill in the blanks.
Well,
Because if
I
any,
think that I think that the Bit Petite is a
hmm,
great way to introduce people to
yeah,
Bitcoin, and because all I do is I start telling them about the percentages, the potential
yeah,
percentages they can earn.
yeah, profits make people
That's all.
listen.
And when you talk about 147 in 6 weeks, and then, oh, by the way, if you use this little extra method, you can eke out 171% over,
Yep.
or remember, that basically, then people's ears start to perk up and their eyes light up. And that's a totally different conversation than, hey, let me tell you about Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And,
Definitely.
as they're yawning through the presentation.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit like that. You need to like entice people with profits, entice them with the gains that can come from it, and then they say, "Okay, how can I get involved?" It's like, "Well, you got to buy Bitcoin first." They're like, "Ah, well, I guess I'll go through that arduous task of doing that for these kind of gains." But it'll get there. That's what McAfee was saying as well. It's really not. It's easy and it's not easy at the same time to buy a Bitcoin. Like if you're used to it and you've already been set up like with your Coinbase, and you've got all your verification done and you're all good there, and even then sometimes you can have issues purchasing. But after you've gone through all that, you've gone through your growing pains, your learning curve, setting up your wallet, learning wallets and that kind of thing. Like it's not normal for people to know, but it kind of just comes second nature to us now. But once you go through that,
I
it's
may
easier.
feel I may feel confident about the cryptocurrency market and Bitcoin, and specifically, but there's no way that I would agree to suck my dick on live TV just because I think it's going to get up to $500 million. I mean,
Yeah,
McAfee, I think, is taking it to the huge extreme, but I mean, it gets people's attention, it gets them
it's
talking.
marketing.
So
Yeah, it's marketing. He's a and if
he is a
anyone
mark.
if anyone is to say something about a cryptographic secure money, who better than
No,
the founder of McAfee Antivirus? And for him to say live on television, antivirus has been a redundant software for the last 10 years.
exactly.
Yeah,
Right. We're in the wild west. There's no doubt about that. Uh,
yeah, for sure.
we're here to tame it a little.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
we got in
but
like last year, right? We got in for the biggest growth spurt, and it's the same in trading. You're trying to get the meat of the move. I worked it out and went through when I was maybe 6 months ago or so. I was like, all right, I got in July 2016 is when when I bought my last Bitcoin. The last Bitcoin I paid fiat for was in July 2016. And I looked back and I was like, well, for the last 7 years, Bitcoin has gained $100 a year, $700 now. It's gained $700, $100 a year. And then in this year alone, it went from, well, this 12-month period alone has gone from, say, $1,000 to $6,000. So things have changed. It's not the same
abs-
anymore.
it's like I am absolutely confident that Bitcoin is going to be 7,500 by the end of the year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or I think, probably 10 grand. It's like I understand the economics of it now.
Hmm. Yeah, now we do, right?
Well,
Limited supply, unlimited demand, growing demand, unlimited use case.
happens when the economies start to fail. Look what's going on in Venezuela, where they're limiting their ability to pull money out of the bank. Well, they're starting to use Bitcoin as a viable substitute.
Bitcoin's
People are
illegal in
mining it
Venezuela.
over there.
Bitcoin's
It's
completely
it's n-
100% illegal in Venezuela.
it's no
Uh,
written law about it, but they
you're
will
breaking
come
up.
get you if you're mining.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I was hearing about people importing or smuggling over Bitcoin miners into Venezuela, then mining the Bitcoin and then smuggling the Bitcoin over the border again and selling it to buy food in Venezuela, and like to pay the
They
rent and
don't
stuff
even
like that.
have to do it over the border because as long as they've got
Yeah, yeah,
a smartphone, just transfer Bitcoin back and forth, and that's the beauty of it. It's decent.
yeah. But
So
maybe if they're getting, they
haven't
might
passed
have to
they haven't
do some
passed
sort
any
of stuff to get
laws
the
about it.
cash. Yeah, okay, but it's frowned upon.
They'll
Would you
still
say?
come take your mining equipment, and they'll still throw you in
Yeah.
jail for a couple of weeks to make you think about what you've done.
Okay. So there's no law about it, but it's illegal. Is what you're saying. There's
Yes,
there's
yeah,
no there's
right.
no written law, but it's illegal. Okay.
Yes, it's against policy.
Against yeah. It's like breaking the guidelines, right?
Right, exactly. So anyway, it's interesting to kind of see what's going on, and the more that starts happening around the world,
Oh,
Bitcoin's just going to grow and
Greece
grow.
before that as well, right?
I don't know that
Greece.
Greece necessarily used Bitcoin, but they did have their own alternative currency.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about Bitcoin itself, but they definitely there was definitely people making a lot of money from turning all their, don't know what Greek's currency is, but turning all their Greek currency into Bitcoin just before that
Was
crashed.
and then it was the euro.
Yeah.
So basically, they mandated that the Greek banks pay off their loans early, and there wasn't enough currency. There was a
Uh,
shortage of currency. That's what caused the Greek disaster. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
they created a town. It started off as created a currency called Thames.
Okay.
Were trading amongst themselves. Had created markets to sell their stuff, and nobody got in their way, and they became very, very profitable.
Nice. Maybe
And
that's
it
the
kind
story
of
I was
proved
hearing.
out.
I just kind of put the Bitcoin word in there. I was like, yeah, that must be Bitcoin they're using. Of course it is.
Yeah. Well, it proved the point of the
Yeah.
value of Bitcoin, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
And Germany back in the 30s, same thing. They did the same,
Oh,
or
yeah.
the 20s.
Yeah.
Their own hell that were not and just went crazy. Did incredibly well in an economy that sucked every other place. Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
This stuff works.
I'm looking at your SC here. Yeah, it looks like you did what I did before I learned this method. Like you would just buy down the same amount again, like the same Bitcoin amount. That's what I used to do. So this is the
I was
progression.
but as it went down, I was spending the same Bitcoin amount,
But
but
getting more
it
of the
wasn't getting
coins.
the multiplier, right?
Yeah, you're getting
So
more of the coins. That's not how this one works, though. That's not how it actually works. You have to multiply your current position. So if you buy zero point 0.2 at first and you want a 2x, you have to buy zero point 0.4. So you now have zero point 0.6. So if it goes down again, you have to 2x again. So it's now 1.2 Bitcoin you have to buy. You have to multiply your current total position, not your
that was my
initial
that was
position.
what I that was what I used to do back when I traded stock options,
Yeah.
because options didn't cost you very much to get an option, and I could do the double down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you gotta have a
Here,
really
it's
small
like you
position
get
size.
sure you get a I don't know what Neo's at right now, but I do know that
Three. Not bad.
I like a lot that's up around $100. I can't get a lot of units of those to counter,
Mm. Yeah,
that.
it doesn't matter really about the units because they're so divisible. So you can start with a really small position size and just exit up because it's
And
not
it's
like an option. You
I
can only
already
have
had a
one.
high,
You can have zero zero
already
zero
had a
zero
high
zero
position
one.
size.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Had a
Uh,
high position size, and so that was you're already in that deep. You can't
yeah.
double and then double and double again
Yeah, so what you do in
because
that
you don't
case is
have enough money.
you just take them one at a time. You just go through each pair one at a time, put the prices together, draw your chart, and then decide which one is going to be the easiest to dig yourself out of. Start with the easiest to the hardest. So as you dig yourself out of the easiest, you're going to make more capital for yourself to get yourself out of the hardest.
It's like paying off credit cards, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Paying off credit cards, digging out your bags, and it might get to a point where you decide, be like, yeah, well, this is too deep. I just have to put it aside and leave it for 6 months and wait for the bull market to come back. This isn't worth. This isn't. It's opportunity cost, right? This isn't worth me spending my opportunity cost on digging out this bag right now. It's too deep. I fucked up. I'll do it later. I'll deal with it later, kind of thing. Which is what I've done with a lot of a lot of my coins, like Steam. Steam is one of those. I bought too much. I'll deal with you later. One day you'll come back, maybe.
Yeah, SC is definitely that for me right now.
Yeah, SE is good, but like something I learned as well along the way is the world just isn't really ready. The world as a whole isn't ready for crypto. So anything like with ICOs particularly now, anything with a real world use case, I don't invest in because they just don't work yet. Apart from Power Ledger, I broke my rule on Power Ledger because Australian. I had to support it.
Okay, gotcha. Well, it's interesting, that same thing where take the whole idea of peer to peer. Um, the whole purpose of Filecoin and
Decentralized
Coin
storage.
was
Yeah.
it's Dropbox with a crypto twist, right?
Yeah.
And that you could share it across multiple computers, and you didn't have. So I thought it was good, when I read the
So did
paper on
I.
that, and at first it was going up on price,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden it decided to sink down.
Yep.
So Filecoin had a better marketing plan, really.
Yep. Yep. There was a
So
lot. The coins seem to pump in their own categories. Like all of the decentralized storage coins pumped at the same time. All the platforms pumped at the same time. All of the debit cards more recently pumped at the same time. 10x, Monaco, TX,
right,
uh, whatever other debit cards there were. But they all seem to pump at the same time. And what I think is going to pump next, maybe not next, but in the future, I don't. Who knows which one next? But one that hasn't pumped yet is, and it's kind of new, is chat apps, chat applications that have a coin attached to them, like
uh,
Kick. Kick just had an ICO. Dust, aka
Kin,
Mercury.
the where they've got the
Kin.
kin.
I don't know much about Kin. All I heard about Kin was it fell through the floor after ICO.
Kin is part of Kick. Kin
Ah,
and
okay,
Kick
okay.
they're one and the same. That's the currency that Kick uses
Ah,
now
right, okay.
within the Kick application.
Yeah. So
But
I
yeah,
I think
I
those
was thinking
categories will
about
move
getting into
together.
that. But
I think those categories will move
gaming,
together. Gaming, yeah.
gaming is another one that hasn't had its pump up. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember back in the day when uh, there were all these gaming platforms for online gaming, and then it against the law, so they had to go offshore, and people found a way to play them.
Hmm.
So I think at some point that'll jump up as well. But yeah, I
Yeah.
concur.
They move in categories, definitely. It's just a matter of finding the right ones within those categories, I suppose, like Neo for your platforms. Stratus and NXT went off at this similar time before Neo really got any limelight as well. And those kind of went off after Ethereum did because they were like, oh, everything's a platform. Yay, platforms are great. Let's buy all the platforms.
Neo didn't exist when Ethereum went through the roof.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of it until then. I heard of Ant Shares, but I was like, Ant Shares? I didn't buy it because of the name. Like, what is Ant Shares? Like, what kind of a name is that? Like, and then I was like, oh,
Been
they're
around for a
rebranding.
while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're rebranding. Oh, that's cool. And I looked on Bittrex, and Bittrex Twitter said, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna be updating." Like there was some stuff about it, like their website was late or something, so then it dropped down again. And then they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna be changing the name of AntShares to Neo tomorrow." And I looked at the chart, and I'm like, "This hasn't moved. This is fairly flat, and it's gonna rebrand tomorrow. I'm gonna buy it and see what
All
happens."
right,
I bought it.
you did that.
Did quite well. Yeah, it did quite well the next day. I'm like,
Like
thanks very much, Neo.
my two big moonshots were I bought Ethereum when it was down at 10, then it went down to like 8 briefly,
Mm,
and then it shot up not too long after that to 60. My son calls me up. He goes, "Hey, have you seen what Ethereum is at?" Because he and I both had invested in that.
mhm.
I said no, and he goes up. It's up to 60 and still climbing. So then I
Wow.
got looking at it. I go, okay, when it gets to 100, I'm going to sell.
Yep.
And what do you think it does? It goes up to like 170 or 180. I gave
Yeah.
away all that money that I could have had if I was
Yeah.
had been willing to just sit there and watch it. And then
Yeah, but
after
you
that,
also
I
can't
took
be
over.
greedy with it though. You can't be like making those gains are great. Like you can't be too greedy. Like it's called you want to like take profits, right? You want to at least take profits, so at least sell half or something. You know, sell half and then put a stop loss at like $90. Be like, okay, if it drops to 90, I'm out. You know.
Eating the pigs get fat, but hogs get slaughtered, right?
Yeah, that's a good
But
one. I
then
like
I
that
got
one.
into Digibyte. I bought Digibyte at 130.
Oh, nice.
Go up
Before the
to
pump.
I sold it at 1370. It went up to
Wow.
1450.
Wow, you did way better on that one.
I was all in on that. After I had a little
Wow,
bit still in ETC and a little bit in ETH
that's awesome.
yeah, so it's like that one pushed my portfolio overnight.
That's crazy. And did you find this that now your portfolio has gotten so large that it's you can't go all in anymore? You're too scared to go all in.
Yes, it's not about just being scared. It's in a lot of the ones that I want to get. They just don't have enough units for me to buy. Struggle with that
Yeah.
whole concept. You know, like
Yeah.
okay, then I've kind of relegated myself to buying dope coin. It's which gave me. I mean, I got $900 a couple of weeks ago
Oh, good.
off a trade for dope coin. So the joke in my training group, my trading group where they deals I've been doing,
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of
so
what happened with me. Like I made, I started off with a decent amount and then I all ined a couple times and then I just got paralyzed because I was so scared. I was like, this is more money than I've ever seen before. And just kind of paralyzed me for a while until I figured out how to make a plan and how to diversify and how to practice and how to schedule my downside. And it's not
You're
scary
right, and that's
anymore.
about my rule of thirds, where I go 33.3% is for buy and hold, long term buy and hold.
Yep.
33.3% is for that I'll put those in all in on moonshots, right?
Yep.
But not all in because I have to
A
divide that
percentage
up
of your
between the number.
percentage.
Yeah, so I may have like 4 or 5 moonshots that I'm potential moonshots that I'm looking at. So I divvy it up and I'll buy into those
Yeah.
and wait till it goes up, and then I've got the other 33.3% helping position trades as some of them are turning out to be.
What's that last 33.3 for?
Free is scalping, where you just
Right.
you're going trying to get a little bit here, a little bit there. It's day trading, right?
Yeah. So
The
you've got
basically what the bot does,
so you yeah, so you just split up to high, medium, and low risk, basically.
right? That's absolutely correct.
Yeah. What I would
And it's worked out.
what I would think about considering is maybe split it into four or fives, or split up one of those categories into something else. Maybe your medium hold, or maybe make your moonshot smaller because it's a moonshot, right? So your moonshot only one of those five need to moon in order for you to make a lot. So maybe you could also consider looking at things like coin staking and master nodes. Those are two really good. You're already doing the hypes. So the other two great things that you could get into is coin staking, which basically you just buy a coin, put it in your wallet, and it creates more coins. Like, you do your fundamentals on whatever coin you like. Like, take BitConnect for example. You can buy a BitConnect coin and you can stake it, and it will create more BitConnect for you over time. Or
By lending.
no, not by lending. It's just called staking, proof of stake.
Oh, okay. So right. So you're basically getting you're part of the proof
It's
of
basically
stake
mining.
crew.
Yeah, sort of like mining, but to mine you buy the coin. So the coin
You're
also
basically
increases in value, and you get more coin.
absolutely. Yeah, and I thought that that was more of an elite club. I wasn't sure if
No,
I could
no, definitely
break
not.
bust into that. Let me know which what the opportunities are in that
Yeah,
arena.
for sure, definitely no, definitely not. Like, you can, there's coins you can stake that cost, you could you could easily say. Oh, let me see.
Why
Let's
don't you
have a look.
create a chat room for that
Staking
category?
coins. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
that
Definitely.
way we can have dialogue amongst several people
Yeah,
and
definitely. There's a lot
bounce
of
ideas
staking
off
coins
the
out
table.
there that all you have to do, right? All you do is you buy the particular coins on your exchange. You then send them from the exchange to their wallet, and then that wallet has to remain online at all times. Um, and that makes you part of the proof of stake, and you get more coins for leaving that wallet on. You can also do that through a VPS, or whatever you like. Some coins, I think most coins will stake better if you have more of the coin, but regardless, it's going to stake. Like, some will have a minimum. Like, I think BCC is 1 BCC minimum to stake. But yeah, it's not an elite club by any stretch of the imagination. Anyone can get into staking. There's super cheap coins that you can get out there that will stake.
So it's
And
not
then
like fill out an application and we'll either white ball you or black ball you kind of thing.
nah, definitely not. Staking is very easy, very low barrier to entry. There is a barrier to entry. You got to
Yeah.
download the wallet. I mean, it's not just like buying and selling on exchange where the exchange takes care of the wallet for you. But yeah, definitely easy to get into and easy to do. Then the other one is masternodes, which is kind of what you would, I suppose, in your words, an exclusive club, because you need to have technical know-how in order to run the masternode in the first place. Like, it's not easy. It's not as easy as downloading a wallet and just leaving it turned on. It's you have to set up a lot of different things with a masternode, and they pay out. Usually, a staking coin can also be a masternode coin. So you would stake your coins for a certain period of time until you get enough coins to have a masternode, and then masternodes usually pay out a little bit a bit better than staking, and you still get the same thing, but you've got a bit of a higher barrier to entry. Like you need a minimum. Like with Dash, for example, I'm sure you've probably heard a Dash masternode is around $300,000 now. So that has a really high entry. But then you've got coins like Syscoin that's coming out. That's $16,000 for a masternode, and you can do a pool for that as well. Or you have something like all the way down to, I think it's exclusive coin. Let me have a look here. There's a website called masternodes.pro, and it lists how much it costs. I'm just throwing it up on the screen here. What do we got for a cheap one? Market cap, coin supply, total coins required, node worth. Here we go. Can we order by node? Can we order by node worth? No, we cannot. Great. That would have been helpful. Anyway, the node worth, like you've got Eternity Coin ENT that only costs $157 for a master node. Meme Coin costs 2,400 for a master node. Bitsand 160, and never mind that one. Crave $1,000 for master node. Monaco Coin is $600 for master node. You know, there's plenty of master nodes that are cheaper. You know, but those coins are less stable. Whereas, you know, Dash costs $300,000 because it's a less return, more stable coin, less chance for it to disappear. Whereas something like maybe Lida coin or something, you know, which you can also get masternode for, is more likely to go down in value, or maybe you won't make so much by having a masternode because it's not used as much. And you know, there's a lot of other factors of masternodes, but those are the two other things I would invite you to have a look at. Is staking coins firstly, because that's easy. That's really easy. Especially it's more of like a long hold coin as well. So you take it off the exchange, put it into the wallet, and it just sits there and creates a passive income. Really.
Fees for the trades and everything. Instead, it's making you more coins. It's having babies.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty much having babies. That's all it's doing. Like you put a thousand people in there, and they start popping out babies.
Oh, that's an orgy.
Yeah, yeah. Long term orgy.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, hey, that's very helpful. That it's like I enjoy the Discord group.
Yeah,
A
I
lot
like
of
it.
things out there that I'd never heard of. You know,
Yeah,
focused on your own little myopic world.
yeah. Like we're
That
all learning from each other, and like the more we can spread, the better. I mean, that's really why I deleted, or not deleted, but I canceled the like we used to have the VIP subscription
IP.
thing. Yeah, and that was really because the Discord started off as a gunball group, and then the VIP thing was the settings. So we needed to limit how many people got those settings, otherwise it wouldn't work anymore. That kind of thing. It was when Narcotics was here, but now Narcotics is left. It really doesn't make any point anymore because I'm not the kind of person that I'm not one of those people that sells trading calls and you know pump and dump groups and that kind of thing. I'm not interested in that. I think you know I'm more interested in teaching people how to do this strategy, how to buy down the market, and how to plan their downside and stuff like that, rather than people just trying to follow my call. And it was a similar thing with Gunbot, right? People were just following blindly whatever they were making money, but they were just blindly following what Narcotics was posting
Learning.
in the group without actually knowing what it was doing. So when Bitcoin would go down, they wouldn't realize that that means turn your bot off right now because it means everything else is going to go down as well. So then you know people would get burnt, you get bags. You didn't know what Gumball was doing. Like very few people do. Like, I don't even know what it does. Like for the most part.
The thing that
Um,
we were talking about, know the technology, know how to
yeah,
trade manually. Otherwise, you don't know when it's time to turn off the bot.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
unless you know why the market's
Or
doing what it's
adjust it
doing.
or change or yeah, like bit shares, right? Prime example. Your bot would have been buying down, buying down, buying down all the way down, and then you're like, uh oh, getting delisted. You got to
Much.
you know you got to plan that out because yeah, you just got to really be aware and active and But yeah, that's why I removed that, and I'm hoping to grow that. I guess I call it more of a mastermind group. Grow that group of where active people, more eyeballs, right? More eyeballs for us to point out things and show things, and so it's not just me in there saying, "Oh yeah, hey guys, look at this, and this." I want to have people in there that are also saying, "Look at this, and this," and
I
teach me
like
something.
that you're little screening process where, yeah, there's this the group of beginners that they don't get into the elite club yet
Yeah,
because they haven't proved themselves,
yeah,
and guys like the boss that are kind of troublemakers and doesn't really like he really knew what he was doing,
yeah. He just doesn't do his
asking
own
more
research.
questions. Yeah,
Yeah,
right, asking more questions than riveting, right?
yeah.
So,
Like questions are fine, but
is,
it's just like
is he
the
Comic
things he
Con?
was asking was like had been spoken about in that very room a day or two before. Like,
Reddit?
yeah,
Yeah. Did you ban him or does he
no, N-
disappear on his own? Or
no. He disappears for months on a time, pops up, annoys everyone, and then goes away again.
well, there you go, perfect. Yeah, because I noticed there's like there's a couple of people like Bit Gal that just disappeared. She
Yeah, just left. I saw a leave notice for that person. I've never seen them speak like ever or anything. So I mean,
right. I guess they weren't getting what out of it what they wanted, and that's fine.
yeah, I mean, we do get a lot of people in here that just come. They only come in just to like advertise something or spam something, or they just wanted to have a look and it wasn't what they wanted or whatever, or all kinds of things. But yeah, it's like when you first join, you get Earthling, which allows you to see general chit chat and hype promotions and also the announcements. And then usually, as soon as someone gives an introduction, like if they go through the effort, because it says in the README there, if someone goes through the effort to put an introduction, say a couple of words, then you become a cosmonaut, which gives you access to the community discussion room, which is community lounge, the Apollo, so the gunbot stuff, the landing bot, and the newsfeed. And so like the community lounge where most people usually sit there and talk and chat in that community lounge. So like it's not a high barrier to entry just to write a little, hey, I'm such and such, this is where I'm from, this is what I'm up to, like happy to be here or something. Like just anything, like I'm not asking for much, just a hello. Like but before you get invited or before you can actually see the community rooms, it's just to try and keep out it's just to really try and keep out spammers and scammers and people that are just really here not to be a part of the community but just the take from the people here. And then you've
Hmm.
got
Yeah,
flight engineer, which initially was just people that had purchased Gunbot, and now is kind of everyone that purchased Gunbot because they've been here since the beginning. Pretty much everyone that's green. So it's just kind of like I suppose like a badge of honor, or I suppose like they've been here for a long time. I don't really see many. Some of them don't talk. Some come back after a while and be like, "Oh, hey, I didn't know this place was active. What's up?"
right. I know. Well, it's changed so much too
Yeah,
since
yeah, it's
3 or 4.
completely different now. Everything's completely different. Before it was just
Then
Gunbot aftermarket support.
promoted to whatever fuchsia
Yeah, payload commander.
regiments.
Payload
What
commander
was
used to be. It's an astronaut theme. I went with.
that? I got that. But
Yeah.
what were the criteria? What did I do to earn that?
Well, it was that was the VIP rank that we had before, and I was kind of just waiting for everyone's VIP to run out to change it. Like so when people started messaging me and saying, "Hey, I think my subscription's due," I'm like, "Yeah, about that. Don't worry about it. I think I'm just
Yeah,
gonna, I don't feel like
guy.
I'm adding enough value to you through this group to in order for you to pay me for it, like, and on top of that I don't want you to pay me because I'm making plenty of money on my own. So people like Jonesy, he has point 0.3 bitcoin to his name, and he was paying me 0.03 a month. I'm like, please keep your bitcoin, I don't
Yeah,
need it. Like keep it
you
for
got to use it
yourself.
best, right?
Yeah, like But yeah, so that's one of the reasons why Jonesy got because before that I was making people that put an effort in and were really going above and beyond. I was like kind of like moderator rank, I suppose, mission specialist, and they got access to the VIP stuff for free because of their contribution to the community. Um,
And Jonesy was a real contributor from for
yeah,
quite some
for
time.
sure. Jones has been around for a long time, and he's always talking away and in there. Like, but apart from when he's driving, he drives like long trucks, long distance. But yeah, Payload Commander. Yeah, it was the VIP group, but now it's really just people that are active in the crypto community and wanting to share and learn. That's really all there is to it. Like active and willing to share and learn. That's all really you have to do to get a payload, become a payload commander, and then that gets you into the mastermind tank, which is the lounge room, which is more of like a serious talk place. You know, not so much trolling or anything. It's more like serious crypto business. Um, I don't know how serious I could call it really. Like we did, you know, talk in there, but it's not very many people talk in there. You know, it's like just me, Oath, Jeff. Like there's. That's why I did the activity check just to see who's around and still there. And I'll demote people that aren't, and then if they come back, then I'll promote them back again, that kind of thing. But it's
Right.
really just a
But you have to just like
it's really
click
just a
on
small
the
group, right?
activity.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for the
Okay.
activity check, you just click on the little button, the little party button thing.
Think that it's useful. Like I'll do probably every couple of weeks,
Yeah.
seminars where, webinars where I'm kind of teaching a concept that I don't cover in my trading room. Is that something you feel would be useful for me to just like throw the link up in our group?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like any sort of
Yeah,
things
I
that
didn't
we're
want
going over,
I
and
didn't
then
want to look like I was doing this self promotion and spamming thing
yeah.
by doing stuff like that. So,
No, I,
'cause-
no, I appreciate it, but like in the mastermind tank, that's kind of what it's about. Like, the other rooms are kind of like a screening process, whatever. Don't really know who anyone is, but in the mastermind tank, it's really about sharing and showing each other links and stuff like that. I've got the news feed there, and it's just you can't watch all the news all the time. It's really more eyeballs to help each other trading. It's really just like a what would you call it? Like a small group, like a study group, maybe you would call it, or a think tank, or just a group of like-minded individuals that share their findings with each other. It's that's all.
well, cool. Well, hey, I appreciate you spending all this time with me. I know that you're not
No, it's cool.
have
I like.
oodles of spare time to dedicate. I appreciate that.
No, yeah, like
Very helpful.
it was good that we got to get a time where we both lined up with timings to have a chat, and yeah.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to start applying this right away. You said you were going to fix up that spreadsheet and then
Yeah, I will do that right
PM it
now.
to me.
Yep, do that right now. You have the link already, right, for that sheet? All that I did was miss out a field,
Oh,
so I'll delete.
yes.
I
There's
can
the.
PM
Oh,
you.
okay. So that's in. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
So I've got the link. I've already got it up. All you're going to do is make some corrections to it, and I'll just
actually, that first one was
feed it
there.
into my group.
This the sheet two is what someone else made. Like I asked them to go, like I gave them the other sheet, and then they adjusted it a bit. I'm not actually sure what this is.
I've got full orders too, and I've got sheet one and sheet three.
Yeah, sheet three is bad. Sheet one, I think you'll be able to figure out once you play around with.
Sheet three, thanks, buddy.
Get
So, all right. So this
rid of
one is
sheet
basically
three.
the part I need.
No, that one's a bit poor. Sheet four. Sheet four is what I was just.
The multiplier of the position where you two times, four times, eight times.
Yeah, right. So you got the two times, four times, eight times. That's your
Okay.
multiplier. You can change that whatever you want to change it to. like, and it will update your position sizing. So number of positions, it's just, your position size at the top there. So if you're planning out, you want 0.001 probably to start with, and then you can have portfolio size. So say you want to allow 1 Bitcoin for this coin for ARC for this plan, and then you would say, and then you put your percentages in. So it's really just the yellow fields, apart from, yeah, it's just the yellow fields, except from the buy price. But the first buy price you can modify, but the rest you don't. So can I get rid of that yellow? Turn to gray.
It's not the formula. Yeah.
Close enough. You can play with that one. Can't find white. Don't know why. I kind of find.
Oh, sorry. I'll take my hand off the mouse.
Oh no, it's okay.
Yeah, no.
There we go. There we go. Right. So you only want to edit the yellow fields on sheet 4. Do you see that one? Oh yeah, there you are. Anonymous turtle. Yeah, so you only want to edit yellow fields. So you got your position size, which is whatever you want to, you can mess around with that. You got your multipliers down there. Your percentages is from your trading view planning. That's where you get your percentages from, and then you adjust your multipliers from that. Your portfolio size, this is just an arbitrary number that you can pick, because then it will tell you on the far right hand side, will my portfolio handle this trade? And it will tell you yes or no for this portfolio size, whether it will handle or not. But like, you don't really need that, because you'll be able to see the total cost. Where is it? Cost in BTC. This one, we make that a color. Stand out, yeah. Cost in BTC. And your minimum sell price. You can also make that a pretty color. Amount of coins doesn't really matter. Buy price, you only edit the first one. And then you got your percentage change, yeah. So your cost in Bitcoin, if it comes all the way down to that 40%, then you can see it would be, and if you started at 0.001, then it would be all, then your total cost by this worst case bottom point is 0.096 by using those multipliers all the way down. So that's what you want to pay attention to. You want to pay attention to the cost in Bitcoin, so you can say, okay, well, if it goes all the way down here, this is how much I need to be able to buy down here and to be able to make profit. And this is how, and then you can adjust your position sizing, and by adjusting your position sizing and your multipliers, it will change your cost. Now all that comes together.
This isn't necessarily, this is inclusive of your unit cost, because basically you're just saying overall buy price. Is that accurate?
Yeah, your total cost in Bitcoin. So from position 1 all the way down to position 6, we'll call it, or position 5, actually, position 5 there. So if you bought 0.001 and you had to buy it five positions down, so 5 iterations down with your multiplier and your percentage change, how much that would cost you is that price in the turquoise there. Like if we put in your so if we were to do ARC in this way at position 5, and we were to use these multipliers and these percentages for ARC, because your initial position was 0.2524, right? It would now cost you to buy it all the way down here. If it did drop to 22,000 satoshis, it would cost you 24 Bitcoin to buy all that way down.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
See how that works?
That's a lot.
Yeah. So like we could change our position sizing. Instead of like 0, we could add like a 0, take that 9 out, and add a 0 in front of it, and all of a sudden it only costs us 2.3 Bitcoin all the way down here. So instead of buying 2.5 at 59, we would buy 0.25 at 59, and then we're covered down here at 22 for 2.3 Bitcoin.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you can plan out whatever way, play with the numbers, see where you're comfortable, and then once you play with a few, you'll learn where your sweet spots are. Once you've done a few percentages, you'll be like, okay, usually if it drops by 20%, then I want a 3x, or if it drops by 10%, then I only want a 2x, or maybe you really like the coin, like Neo or something, and it drops 10%, so you want a 4x, so you make more money. Play around with that way. Plenty of stuff you
right?
can
The,
mess with and
basically,
play around.
the primary tool that you use is the trading view. So if I just go
You can use
on
Coinigy.
that,
You can use Coinigy for the same thing. It's just your support and resistance levels. The only thing I'm really taking
Coinigy
from
doesn't
there,
give me the percentages. Right?
you should have a tool on there to do that.
Let me bring
It's
it.
called price range. Should definitely have a tool that would do that for you. And I think TradingView might be free anyway, so I mean you could try whatever one you're comfortable with.
It is free. It has a free version. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
and I
called
think I think
Trading.
the only tradingview.com.
All right. Well, on Coinigy, what's the tool
I have no
that I would
idea. It's called price
trend line?
on TradingView. It's called price range, and the keyboard shortcut is Shift on TradingView. Shift
Saying
left
you
click.
said if I could do it on Coinigy, and if I don't have to learn a new tool,
Yeah, I'm not sure if you
but
can or not. You'll need to like play around and find where the tool or the well, yeah, I suppose the tool. You would have to play around with your buttons and find where you could get a price range, or even you could even do like a long and short position on the thing, and I'll give you the percentage. I'm sure it would give, because I on TradingView I click the little thing, the where the price range is, and I get the options: long position, short position, forecast, date range, price range, date and price range, bar pattern, ghost feed, projection. Those are all the sub tools that I have under that, and price range is
uh,
just the one I choose to use for it. But anything will give you a percentage. Like I could even do a long
there's even called
position.
called Measure Shift. That's probably the same thing right there.
Have to play
Coinigy,
around with the
it's
buttons.
Measure Shift. Yep. Okay.
Same thing.
Got it.
Nice. Perfect.
Bars a 5.23. Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. I'll just kind of around with some of these
Yeah.
tools and work.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna grab some lunch. It was awesome chatting to you.
Thank you for again for taking the time, and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Talk to you later.